This is Dave Bowser.
Jay Rizzo.
And welcome to Memorabilia Kingdom.
Welcome to our premiere episode. Today we have actor, author Nicholas Knight coming up in one of our Memorabilia Kingdom celebrity interviews.
Yes, we do.
It should be great.
And we will be posting our Memorabilia Kingdom celebrity interviews bi-weekly right here on YouTube. Only on YouTube. So if you see the link, you share it.
Subscribe.
And be sure to tell your mom and them. And we'll also be having monthly T-shirt and random memorabilia giveaways, Jay.
I know, that's awesome.
So stay
I'm very
tuned
excited
for that,
about
everybody.
that.
So
right now we're going to show you collections from some of our page fans.
let's roll that. Great collections, everybody.
Yes, I love seeing the collections.
Yeah, keep sending them in, and we'll keep sharing them.
Hey, Dave.
Yes, Jay Rizzo.
Remember the time we interviewed actor, author Nicholas Knight?
It's Memorabilia Kingdom, Dave.
Jay Rizzo.
We're on the line here with Nicholas Knight, actor and author.
Hey guys.
Hey, how's it going?
So, Nick, can you tell us, our listeners, a little bit about yourself, like interests and such?
Yes. Well, since I was a kid, I've always been interested in horror. I've always had a love for the 1970s, everything that came along with that time period. And I've always been very much into the opposite sex. So my writing and my taste in movies and when I do creative writing tends to be very erotic, very historical when it comes to the 60s and the 70s, and there's always an element of horror in everything I put my mind to.
Very nice.
Artistically, if that makes any sense.
Oh, yeah.
Very cool.
So you wrote a book here, Dawn's Tale. That was released
Yes.
through Burning Bulb Publishing, correct?
Yes, correct.
Can you elaborate more on that? Sans spoilers?
Absolutely. Dawn's Tale is all about endless love and traumatic loss. It's a passionate love story between an older man and a younger girl, which initiates while they are each committed in a psychiatric hospital during the late 1970s. Her mom was a flower child, and her dad is a Native American preacher. That's not so Christian. The first novel ends in unspeakable tragedy, which is where the horror part comes in. But Dad sparks off the next two novels, which sets Dawn off on a killing spree as a direct result of the tragedy she suffers in the first story. And the next two novels in the trilogy has her on a journey where she realizes more and more that she is gradually becoming a werewolf. And then she ends up, well, I don't want to give too much away from the next two novels since they're not yet published, but
Right.
She rescues and befriends a white wolf, an actual wolf, and falls in love all over again, this time with a pink-haired lesbian. And during this whole time, Dawn is stalked by this malevolent coven of satanic witches.
I saw the commercial for that on YouTube the other day. That's pretty intense.
Yes, it is.
Yes. Well, read the novels. It gets even more intense if you read the stories. Yeah, trust me, I have put my heart and soul into this series. The series itself is actually called Nightshade, and I always tell people it's very much in the horror genre, but it's also very much a love story. But I actually have another novel that's close to being published although I'm having a little trouble finding a publisher for this, and I can't use the company you mentioned that published Dawn's Tale because this novel is a Christian novel, not a horror novel.
Okay.
But this Christian novel, which I can't give as much away because of the fact that I don't have any publisher lined up
Right.
to help me put this out. But this is also very special to me, very personal to me, because one of the main characters, one of the principal characters, is heavily modeled on a girl that is very special to me, who I lost back in 2002.
Sorry to hear that.
We were engaged, and she passed away tragically. So this is kind of a tribute to her. But that will be announced on the same Facebook page as I have for the Nightshade series.
And listeners can follow, they can subscribe to your YouTube, which is Nightshade Books, if I'm not mistaken, correct?
Correct. Yes.
For on YouTube,
Yes.
For our listeners, that's on YouTube, and subscribe to Nightshade Books. That's your boy here, Nicholas Knight.
Yes.
Where can our listeners purchase your book?
It is available on Amazon.com. If you just search for Dawn's Tale by Nicholas Knight, it comes right up. And I'm actually trying to encourage people that are open to checking out the novel to review it if they have a chance. Because I've been told by several others, authors and publishers alike, that the more people that review it, I guess the more attractive it is on Amazon. I don't understand the whole. I don't understand the whole mumbo jumbo behind all that technology. But yeah, I'm trying to encourage people to share what they thought of the novel. And that being said, you know, I'm also eager to find out what my audience thinks of my work. So it's not just trying to promote more people to purchase Dawn's Tale, but also because I'd be more than happy, you know, to hear what they have to say about it. But
cool.
it is a very, very special series, and you won't find anything out there like it, either on screen or in print. That I can promise you.
So you've been in a few movies. Most recently, John Russo's My Uncle John is a Zombie.
Yes, actually, I was in a movie after that, after My Uncle John is a Zombie, called Natalia, which was a very cool experience for me, as was My Uncle John is a Zombie. But the guy that directed Natalia was from Switzerland, so much of its cast for that project came down to the States to shoot the movie, which was an educational experience for me, because I'm no world traveler by any stretch of the imagination, and these people from Switzerland were very, very nice.
Very cool.
Really, really cool people. So yeah. But I have 4 movies coming up between next month, actually, and the middle of next year, which I'm excited about. A short film called Love is Dead, which is a short film about love gone wrong, which I can certainly relate to, because the girl I mentioned previously, her name is Erica, the one that passed away on me in 2002. She, with her being the sole exception to this rule, all my other relationships, romantic relationships, over my lifetime have been complete ruses and shams, and they've all ended horribly and been complete nightmares, which I think also draws me to the horror genre, because I can relate to it so well. But yeah,
I hear that.
Erica was certainly the one exception to that. She was completely sweet and just love personified. So that's what inspired me to write the Christian novel.
Very cool.
So that should be published by the end of the year too. But Love Is Dead is coming up next month. Kristen Risk is actually the star of that. I don't know if you guys know her work or not, but I'm told she's popular in the horror culture. And after that, I'm in a movie called Nothing Good Ever Happens, which I have to go to Cleveland, Ohio for, I think, if I remember right. And that suits me too because, like I said, much of my life has been pain. So I thought, Love Is Dead and Nothing Good Ever Happens. Just the titles alone attracted me. But after that, there's a production company based in New York called Civil Films. I don't know if you guys have heard that name, but there's an untitled project that I'm attached to that will be shot in New York. That's either going to happen later this year or sometime next year. And then after that, I'm doing Nightmare City, which is a remake from a 1980 zombie film. And this version is going to be directed by Tom Savini.
Very nice.
And it's looking to be a really huge project. They're talking to people. I don't know if I'm allowed to say the names, but let's just say that they're talking to a couple actresses that I'm a huge admirer of, that I will kill to work with. So that's really exciting. But yeah, look for that one in particular, because that looks like it's going to be a really huge deal when that comes out.
I love anything done by Tom Savini.
Yeah, right? Yeah, no, he's great. He's great. I love that remake of Dawn of the Dead that he did. I thought that was awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's all I have. All I have on the itinerary as of now.
So, since we are Memorabilia Kingdom, we know you are a collector as well. What lives in your Memorabilia Kingdom?
What lives in my Memorabilia Kingdom? Okay. Well, I've always been a huge comic collector, but my taste in comics run with my taste in movies and
The dark
fiction.
comics.
So yes. So I read and collect titles like Doctor Strange and Echelon the Demon and Swamp Thing and Hellblazer, which is a comic series that the movie Constantine was based on.
Oh, wow.
Lady Death is another title I like.
I'm a big fan of Lady Death myself.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, we certainly have that in common. I really like Rob Zombie's artwork, so I try to collect any comics that he puts out.
Right.
Anne Rice has some titles to her name, Stephen King. So I'm often drawn to that sort of material. But I'm extremely excited about the Doctor Strange movie that Marvel has coming out in November. That would have been a project that I would have loved to be a part of, even if I had no lines and I was just seen, standing in the corner or something.
Right.
It's just, yeah, if you've seen the teaser trailer they have out for that movie, it looks amazing. I mean, breathtaking.
Yeah, it does look pretty good.
Okay, so you've seen the trailer that they have out on YouTube?
Yep.
Yeah, it looks incredible. That movie is going to be one of Marvel's finest. I strongly believe that.
And you said earlier you're a fan of 60s and 70s music, mostly disco.
Well, that's certainly half of it, yes.
I'd probably be the one sharing the giggle, but I mean, I grew up, my aunt used to play the ABBA, Bee Gees, every weekend. I go out to visit them at their farm, and She was all into that.
Oh, is that right?
I grew up Night Fever, ABBA. I introduced.
What was your impression of that music, Jay?
It was different.
I don't know if he knew whether to shit or fall in it. So.
Well, that's a nice way to put it. Thank you.
But I mean, I'm a big fan of that. I mean, I like the Bee Gees. I like all that. You know what I mean? 'Cause it's just something that holds dear to me with my family and all that, and just memories. So that's where my love for that comes from.
Yeah, no, that's cool. It's nice to hear you say that, because that certainly is not a popular thing that I've found to confess to, at least not in my experience. But yeah, I love that stuff, especially ABBA. I'm a huge ABBA fan, but I also am really fond of the what I call the hippie music, like Jim Morrison and Fleetwood Mac and all those groups that were on the Dazed and Confused soundtrack. That kind of music. Yeah,
I'm a big fan of Fleetwood Mac too. Stevie Nicks and all the way back to all the way back to Buckingham and Nicks. So. Yes,
right.
And
well, and if you guys have never heard of a material from a band called Nightwish,
yes.
Yes.
I'm the metal fan. I'm the metal fan of us too. So.
Yes, he is. Huge metal fan. He is.
Okay, cool. What's your opinion of their stuff, Nightwish's stuff?
I want to say, how do I want to put it? But I don't want to say, it doesn't have like a gothic feel to me, but it's just, I just like angry, aggressive, anything aggressive. I grew up with Ozzy Osbourne too from my uncles, and it just progressed from there. And then I got Pantera, and then I went back. I kind of did a time hop, because I mean, I skipped over a lot of music like Nightwish, and then until I was like 23, I didn't go back and actually discover who they were. And I was like, yeah, I can get into that. I mean, I couldn't name a song, but I mean, I like the way they sounded when I got to hear them, and like it just progressed through that. But like I think all this new metal, it's with all digital stuff in it, I can't stand it. I mean,
right, yes. Well, that's one thing that I've never been able to connect with, because I grew up on Ozzy Osbourne too, and he used to be one of my top artists that I would get albums to and that sort of thing. But the Ozfest that he has usually has bands on that itinerary that I just can't seem to have a connection with, because they several of them tend to be the type that you're describing, where it's just too hard or too,
digital sounds. You can hear all that techno stuff in it too. I mean, they try to mask it, but
right.
You can hear it.
Yes. Well, and I sound like my grandfather was saying this.
What the hell are they saying?
Well, it just and I mean no offense to this when I say this to your audience that likes that kind of music, that likes that kind of hard rock. But to me, I tend to appreciate lyrics that I can actually understand, as opposed to like the screaming on the mic. And I just feel like the heavy metal nowadays, is more screaming than it is singing. And I'll turn on the radio now, and it'll be like a easy listening station that I'll pass by, and I'll catch like a Motley Crue or a AC/DC song on a easy listening station, and it just blows me away, because I'm like, how could they consider this, But then when I look at, like I said, like the Ozfest groups that often play that festival, then it sort of starts to make sense to me, because the hard rock and roll and heavy metal music has certainly changed drastically since the 80s. So, yeah. I completely understand what you're saying.
Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you. We deeply appreciate it.
Not as much as I do, Jay. Thank you, guys. I wanted to ask if you like to be called Prince Dave and Prince Jay, because you have because your show has Kingdom in the title.
I'll take it. I'll take
But no.
Prince Dave.
I'll take King.
I'm more the court jester, so.
Yes, he is.
Okay.
Well, thank you, Nick. It's been a pleasure, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Yes, it was.
Well, that's join us next time here for another episode of Memorabilia Kingdom next week right here on YouTube.
And don't forget to head over to Facebook, type in Memorabilia Kingdom, give us a share and a like, and most importantly, post your collections. We want to see what's in your Memorabilia Kingdom.
Until then, I'm Dave Bowser,
And I'm Jay Rizzo.
and you have entered the kingdom.
Yes.